Please, a round of applause for Nollywood. And a round of applause for me. Why won't you clap? Haven't you seen an almost rich fellow? You think you see this every day? This is Basorge. This is Basorge. Seafood, that's what I am, chief. Apa trouble Emio, when I daughter did here, they sought my money. But it's wonderful. We're here. And it took a lot to bring everybody here. I remember yesterday when we were at the airport. You remember? Namdi, the weather wasn't so good, right? But for Nollywood, for Armor, and indeed for the Africa motion picture industry will do anything. So we got and bought the flight. My wife was always calling every 5 minutes. Are you still flying? Weather is not good. I said, what is your problem? That I'm going to see a lot of beautiful ladies? Take it easy. And then she said, no, that's not my problem. The weather is really not good. You're the father of my children. I should be worried. Why don't you just stay back and let some other person host this year? I said, no. I must go. There are great opportunities. I want to see friends I haven't seen in a long time. And then she said to me, I'm going to have to call your father and tell him you're being stubborn. If anything happens, God, see my hand. So anyway, to set her at rest and to appease her, I said to her, don't worry. This event is supported by UB and the Basorge state government. If anything happens to your husband, you get 450 million naira. My wife became interested. And then she said to me, really? Then she stammered, well, if so, don't let me stop you. So I'm here safe. But what really annoyed me was when I got on board, she actually called me back just before we took off. And I said, why are you calling me? So you're now interested because it's 450 million. She said, forget that one. There's a more important issue we should discuss. I said, what is it? She said, did you tell them the name to write on the check? I'm here, and backstage I'm having a fight with my black friend, the tall fellow, who thinks he's tall. This is the official height in the book. If you're taller than this, it's your business. In the good book, the Lord says, lo, I am with you. And tall, you are alone. I remember at some party, you know what they said? They wanted to show if men actually have control in their marriages at home. So they say, if you know your wife controls you, stand on line A. If you know you are in control in the home, stand on line B. Believe me, all the men were on line A. All the tall, huge fellows. There was only one small fellow, just about my height, on line B. So the fellows on line A looked at the fellow on line, the fellows looked at the gentleman, the short fellow on line B. So you mean as big as we are, and as strong as we are, our wives are in control, but as small as you are in control. You know what the man on line B said? He said, leave me alone. My wife said I should stand here. Now, do not forget to come back to Basorge State. This is a state for tourism. We are hospitable. It's a heaven. You can see we're lovely and wonderful people. Yes, except my Igbo brothers who sell artifacts. When two Europeans walked into a shop of one Igbo man who was selling artifacts. You know how it is? Africans will do it in style. We have all those paintings, all those wonderful things. And just to create some ambience, the gentleman had a few skulls, human skulls. So the white man walks in and says, wow, this is beautiful. I love it. What about the skull? It must be a skull of a very important person. Igbo man says, oh, well, that is the skull of Moses. He said, really? Right here in Africa, you have the skull of Moses? He said, yes. He said, I must take this back home. How much is it? He said, $10,000. He said, that's expensive. I don't have that kind of money. But there was a skull of a baby. So the man goes, well, I can buy a small African skull. How much is this one? He said, $10,000. He said, but this is a skull of a little boy. Is he also an important person? He says, yes, the skull of Moses when he was a little boy. Now, I'd like to share with you one Ijo joke before I go. We there? Eyes up. Eyes up. Eyes up. Now where? Two Ijo boys for the first time went to Abuja. From village until not the city. So when they got to Abuja, they saw skyscrapers. The first boy screamed, he said, what a tall building. I never see this kind of building in all my life. You mean human beings built this? The other gentleman said it must be. He said, how high is this building? The other one said, you know what? You've got to climb up to the top of the building. Then when we get to the top of the building, I will jump from there. As I'm coming down, I will take the measurement of the building here. So the other man said, I'll be kind. Let me wait. While you are landing, I will cast you. So he was down there with his hands out like that. Some very old and wise fellow walked up and said, young man, why do you have your hands out? Are you a beggar? He said, Abba, no, I'm not a beggar. He said, then why do you have your hands out? He said, my friend climbed this tall building. He want to jump down. But as he jumped, I'll catch him. Then the man said, let me give you an advice. The force of your friend landing on your arms will break them automatically and you might also die. He said, don't worry, I'm not stupid. I let him bounce 2 times before I catch him.